The FA Cup semi-finals, Wembley or bust. These are the great matches to win and the worst possible ones to lose. Here at Hillsborough, it's Liverpool against Forest.
We came out, went onto the pitch. They had their warm-up. They went into the game. So just normal. Six minutes, people on the pitch.
Two guys come on the pitch and I said to them, you better get off, you're going to get us in trouble. And one of the guys said, Al, there's people in there dying.
Right from the start, you knew it wasn't hooligans. It was just, people coming onto the pitch for some reason that we never knew what it was about.
And I can only assume the problem started with overcrowding at the Leppings Lane end, that it was crushing that seems from here to have caused the accidents and the injuries.
The fans were on the pitch. They had the advertising boards and using them to carry people off to the side.
They open the gates and they just let us walk in. The police's fault. The police's fault.
There's at least 50 people dead.
I went downstairs and I said to Kenny, just please, please, please find Paul, because Paul was at the other side of the stand and they thought I'd lost my son.
Paul had to walk through the Leppings Lane to get to his seats right across from the main stand. The concern obviously was for him. We were asked if we would say something and they took us where the public announcer sits. All I said was, look, this isn't a fight between two football clubs. This is a fight for people's lives.
I remember then hearing my dad's voice coming over the speaker system. And it was, I only wanted my dad then.
I don't think anyone will ever forget the look of absolute horror on his face as he looks across the pitch. He sums up exactly how everybody felt at the time, like this absolute fear.
Then security found Paul and we knew he was good. But for that short time, it was horrendous.
Kenny, your thoughts tonight will be with the Liverpool fans.
Can't be anything else, can he? Can't be anything to do with football, can he? That was the furthest thing they moved football minds, really. And the thing that is more upsetting is the fact that it was, there was no animosity, and there's very little we can do. We can only sympathise with the people that had fatalities and obviously friends and relatives that have unfortunately been injured. There's no way that we can be held responsible for anything like that, really.
The story I was hearing as Liverpool fans came back from Sheffield was that there was no stewarding outside. When they went inside, the only thing they could see was a tunnel that said standing. They went down it into pens that were already full. At the front of the pens, there were fences. The gates were locked. Police watched that crush develop. A barrier collapsed, and people had the life squeezed from them.
Casualty figures now stand at 94 dead. 24 of them have now been identified, including a boy of 10.
You know, people who died. Lad sitting next to us in the car, he died. You wake up in the middle of the night, just bolts up in bed. And your girlfriend's going, what's wrong? I don't know. Just bodies and death and all that, you know.
What do you think should happen now?
They shouldn't play. They shouldn't play for the rest of the season.
They shouldn't play?
No.
At the moment, they've decided not to take a decision one way or the other. Do you agree with that for the time being?
Yeah, they definitely should leave for a bit. It's too soon now to decide what they should do.
Kenny Dalglish, the Liverpool manager, has said that the team will do what the fans want. But with clear divisions of opinion here, the FA tomorrow faces the agonising task of deciding what's for the best.
The day after the disaster, Margaret Thatcher is standing there on the terrace where people lost their lives. She is in conversation with Peter Wright, the Chief Constable, Douglas Hurd, the Home Secretary, Irving Patnick, the local Conservative MP, and her own press secretary, Bernard Ingham. And the myth of crowd violence was created at that moment. Within days, The Sun run with a headline, "The Truth." And Paul Middup, the chair of the Police Federation, defends it on national media.
How big a factor drunkenness was in this tragedy from the police point of view?
Well, we're quite convinced that a lot of the fans, many hundreds of them outside that gate, had been drinking very heavily.
They were urinated on by people who were in the balconies above them. They were kicked whilst they were giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
So are you saying the fans are to blame, then?
The police certainly aren't to blame. Because if the fans would do what the police are asking them to do, there wouldn't be any problem, because people would be orderly.
So I have to accept that what they were telling me was the truth.
When The Sun printed the infamous "The Truth" headline, it was not founded in any semblance of accuracy or fact.
When I've seen what's been said in the papers about the people as I love, I'm absolutely outraged.
People like me, I can't do anything, but I can take the Sun off the counter.
Kelvin Mackenzie, the editor of The Sun at the time, rang Dalglish up because of the backlash against The Sun and said, what can we do to make it better?
I said, well, I would suggest you start putting the headline in tomorrow's paper saying we lied. He says, I can't do that. I said, I can't help you. And he turned around and tried and pin the blame on us. It was nothing like that. And it took them years before they found out that that was a load of rubbish.
Liverpool Football Club must decide today whether to stay in the FA Cup. The decision will be taken at Anfield, where more than 100,000 people have been to mourn since Saturday.
We regret that we feel unable to make any decision as to the future of the FA Cup competition so close to these events, when there are supporters lying seriously ill in hospital and funerals to be arranged.
When a community that was grieving, that felt the world was against them, that felt that Westminster and Margaret Thatcher and the police and the media were against them, one man stood up for them. and that is Kenny. He was going to look after, console and help a grieving community in Liverpool.
He did become the father of the city in a way. You know, I think by going to the funerals and being so involved, it was a little bit like he was saying, I'm going to deal with this for you. I'm going to take this on my shoulders. You know, there are always those moments in a club's history where people take it to a new level. You set a way of behaving for future players and managers to follow.
I took Kelly and Paul in the Friday morning before they closed the ground. They gave them 2 teddy bears. And they tied them up to the goal. And then we walked through the cop. Oh, it was so moving. It was, honest to God, I've never seen anything like it. I hope I never see anything like it again. Never.